Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to my LEGO reviews. This time I'll be reviewing set number 71713, Empire Dragon. It comes with 286 pieces and 3 minifigures. As always, let's start with the minifigures. From left to right, we have Digi Chi, Digi Lord, and Unagami. Let's start with Digi Chi. So this is a digital avatar of our beloved Kai. There's quite a bit new here, so let's start with top and go down. The new hood piece is similar to the previous one, but this one has a much shorter bandana at the back, as well as a plastic visor attached. It's molded in white and red, and Kai's icon on the top is visible. Overall, I really like this new head wrap. However, I'm afraid that it's too specialized for like the digital version. It's not going to be as useful as, say, the Legacy hood or the original Ninja hood or the other versions, really. It's really specialized. The face has two prints. One is this digivisor with a small smirk. The other is a shocked awe face, which is quite an interesting face for Kai. The new armor has heavy shoulders and, similar to previous armor, can hold a pair of katanas. What makes it unique is that it has this hole that can hold a bar piece. In this case, it's used to hold a trans neon green bar that holds up this brand new life bar piece. It really is interesting. It has the ninja's icon as well as a health bar and what I assume to be a power meter, though. Again, the whole video game thing is kind of mixed up with different genres placed in. The torso print for this figure is pretty good. The white looks more like pink on the red background, feeding into the left white arm. He has these blue lights that kind of remind me of Tron. The back print is normally covered up by the armor, but it's also pretty good. The leg print is also fine with the asymmetric white and blue lights. For weaponry, Kai wields 3 katanas molded in spring green, first seen in the Possession Wave. More interesting is the new gaming controller piece, which is not only useful as both just a plain controller, it also is used as a hilt for various pieces of weaponry. In this instance, it's a katana molded in trans neon green, which is really cool, and I think will find its own uses in the future. Now let's go over Lord. Digi Lord has the same hood, but molded with green. I like to make note of this bandana's textured appearance on the sides. I didn't mention that last time, but I think it's worth noting here. His armor and life bar are the same. His face prints are both good. The digivisor has the same appearance as Kai's, but with an angry face at the bottom. His other face is a cheeky smile. Overall, these are good face prints. His torso printing is pretty good, replacing the white for more of the superior spring green. His robes are also different. The back print is also pretty good, but is often covered up by the armor, so we don't see it. The leg print is also good with a light green. For weaponry, he has the game controller piece, but this time having the wider sort of blades. Now let's go over the villain, Unagami. Do you know that Unagami is a spirit of destruction in Japanese folklore? Emperor Unagami is the third and unfortunately final figure of the set. This singular villain is the head honcho of the Prime Empire. As such, it is quite odd, in my opinion, that we would find it in this set, or as many sets as he's in. I really like his new hairpiece molded in white and red. It can be held in a clip piece. He also has this really cool new pointed beard piece. I'll bring this up later in more detail, but I really think there should have also been a red visor in this set. Removing both hair pieces, we get a view of his face print. His first face has teal markings and an oddly J-like eyebrow scar. strange. Unagami is J, confirmed. I doubt it. His other face looks like Darth Maul, digitized. Both look good and contain secrets I'm sure people will theorize about. He wears the Sons of Garmadon armor in red, but backwards so you don't see the front. His torso printing is excellent, and you can see both sides very easily. He has this new slope piece, which is interesting and I have not seen before. And the printing goes on both sides. But for weaponry, we'll have to go to the first build of the set, so let's go over that now. The first build is this small cylinder meant to act as a video game level up, and it holds the orange Kitana, which is apparently a very important item in the Digiverse. It's a simple build, just 5 pieces and a question mark sticker. Perhaps more interesting is the Kitana itself, with a white hilt and trans-orange blade. It is very jagged, and doesn't really look like a key. Now let's go over this set's main attraction, the Empire Dragon. The Empire Dragon is of the Eastern Dragon variety. Let's start with the head. The head of the Empire Dragon is brick built and highly built up. The snout has these cool nostrils and whiskers. It uses teal engine pieces and even ski pieces to do some really good textures. It has an openable mouth alongside some really cool printed eyes. Overall, I think this is a really good head, and it really does portray the evil digital aesthetic. The dragon's head has 3 barbs. There are 2 that have orange pieces and can be motioned up and down and left to right, and an Uruk sword in the 3rd. They are all very articulatable. The neck piece is not as articulatable, however, and as such is not quite as useful, though you can still pose it in at least a relative amount of ways. The body is very thin, but that's okay for this type of dragon. It is meant to be an Eastern dragon. However, what cannot be forgiven is that it is very gappy, especially when the Emperor is not seated in it. The cockpit has a windshield piece for protection, as well as a decent sticker for the control panels. It's okay that it has stickers. However, the stickers on the sides, in my opinion, are not really all that needed. On either side, he has these little winglets that have stud shooters that shoot off trans orange studs. And they also use these really cool slope pieces. They can be posed in many ways. The chest is okay as well. The front legs are ratchet joints with these new wing pieces molded in trans orange. These, combined with the mini stickers and engines, give off a sleek look. Shame that the articulation is so very limited. Limited far more than even the average Ninjago dragon, because you see the long wings prevent it from being turned inward very much. The feet are customly built using these ski pieces, though these are ice skates and not the same type of skis as on the head. It's very interesting. I mean, I don't particularly like the design, but it's unique, and I'll give it that. The back legs are just bad, though. There's really nothing outstanding about them. Going down the body, we see 2 more spikes that are posable on ratchet joints. Then we get to the tail. It's a very simple build, though I do like the recolored ingots in dark gray. Would they be iron ingots? I always thought only precious metals were in ingots. Oh, it's interesting. Anyway. One bad thing is that the tail has this open ball joint and instead relies on the sword, but really the open ball joint just kind of undermines it. I really think it could have used one more tail segment, maybe like a little spike. But overall, yeah, it's okay. Overall, I really like this dragon. It works quite well. I love the fact that teal has returned to the color. And you gotta thank the Lego Movie 2 for that, though. Lego Movie 2 isn't that good. Anyway, now let's go over my overall thoughts and opinions. Overall, I really do want to enjoy this set. I do like the fact that we get Unagami in a cheap set, even though it doesn't really make that much sense. What I don't like, however, is that he's the only bad guy in the set. I think having just a single red visor would have really balanced the set, because I don't know, I think it needed one more bad guy, and then you'd have 4 minifigures and it would be absolutely perfect. Plus, red visors, despite being the foot soldiers, aren't really in a lot of cheap sets that you can amass quickly. The dragon itself, I've stated already, as I like. The Kitana, I think, is pretty good, as well as this carrier that contains it. The 2 heroes are perfectly fine as well. I like their reimaginings. I'm the Dark Master, and if you like LEGO reviews, consider subscribing. See you next time.